Ronnie, I feel that I've always had a love for Ronnie and her desire to be here and push herself, and knowing that that Liz couldn't be here to do that, I feel like I've channeled some of those energies I wanted to put into Liz, into Ronnie, and Ronnie's been a great asset to this team. She has the ability to lift people's spirits and smile and look in the most positive aspect of things. She's always challenging herself to run her best times every single race. In track especially, she's always checking her watch out, trying to figure out where she's at. And I know she's had a disappointing this year, senior year, cross country. But once she gets through her knee injuries, then I expect her back in full force for cross country, or for track. But Rhani, love you, you've been great. And Pflaum fans, this summer, I got the experience to meet Sean Smith for the first time. I kind of knew who he was. I didn't really like him much. He played lacrosse and basketball. When he came to the cross country meeting in May and June, and he's like, "Coach, I don't know how to run." I was like, "Well, you got to start somewhere, so come out in the summer." And he was one of the few runners that made it out to almost every single summer practice, 3 days a week. And then sometimes on Saturdays and other days here and there. But that immediately showed me the type of character that Sean was. His passion for running is, I'm not certain where that is in relation to basketball and lacrosse and whatnot, but I know that when he's out there, I know he's giving me 100% every single time. There's never a question in my mind that when he's finishing with everything he got, and he's racing to the best of his ability at all times. And Sean, it's been a pleasure, a true pleasure to work with you this year. And I hope that don't make basketball. Bailey, this is her first year running cross country. And it's truly been a joy. She came out and did track last year, and when she wasn't fainting on the track, she was actually fun, fun to coach and fun to work with. But you're never going to find a person with a bigger mouth. She yells better than me, but more importantly, she has a true mindset of a leader and the heart of a good friend. And I wish I could honestly take her heart and desire to be out here and put it in just about everybody, because she has that big of a heart and that love for the sport that when she's not running, she wishes she was running. When she's running, she wishes she could run faster at every minute. So that's definitely something I will miss very. In every great sprinter, there's a distance runner. For those of you who don't know, David Shea, he's a long distance sprinter. And this year, we're going to see the best of David Shea yet to come. He ran some great times. He was part of a state finalist in the 4x4 this past year. He just missed states in the open 400 by a place or two. And this year, with a strong base in cross country, I'm hoping that we're going to be able to run him in not only just the 4, but in the 8, the mile, and the 2 mile. No, in reality, the 4 and the 800 are going to be what I think are going to be his best events. And I know Coach Lincoln and I are hashing out every strategy to use him in those ones there. But David, I appreciate you coming out and being a part of the team this year, and I look forward to seeing what you're doing and going out there. Yeah, David. Steph!
Yes, Steph.
Yes, Steph.
I've always known Steph as a track runner because she came out to run the 800. But what I think I love the most about Steph was that she was always pushing herself to find another level of enjoyment in running, to the point where she would go out and run these 10-miler races throughout the summer, as much as I hated it. Because every year I tell her that she's going to hurt herself, and she does. But Steph, again, I kind of feel myself competing myself with the girls. They have such a big heart and a love for each other and a love for the sport that it's contagious. And Steph just I was right in the middle of all that. She's one of the best friends that everybody has on the team. Everybody loves her. I love her. I know that I could count on her for anything that I need her to get done. And Steph has just been phenomenal with her. I love her. Keith! You're never going to meet a man who asks more questions. You know, that's the one thing that every teacher that Keith has ever had has always said. Does Keith ask a lot of questions to you? Yeah? But that's Keith. He's told me this in kind of a variety of ways, but he came out here because he didn't want to sit at home all the time. He wanted to come out here, he wanted to be a part of a team and be a part of a group, and he's found a home. I love working with Keith because, as I said the same thing about Sean, Keith has never given me less than 100%. Never. He might complain a lot, and I might yell a lot back, but I know that Keith is giving me 100%, and again, it's been a pleasure to work with Keith for the last year, 2 years? Yeah. You just started last year. Again, if I had another year with Keith, I would love to see where he's capable at. And Keith has been that guy that I'll always know is the guy who asks questions. I love Keith. Nice job. Grant. I had the pleasure of coaching Grant's older brother. And Paul was one of those guys that really helped solidify the program. And so when I heard I had another Pariseault come in, I was excited that Jim and Stacy were going to be a part of my family for another couple years. But then I was like, man, Grant's really short. But you know what? Grant, Paul kept saying, he goes, he's going to hit a growth spurt. He's going to hit a growth spurt. And lo and behold, Grant's finally hit a growth spurt. He's been a guy that I've been able to count on since day one. He has shown consistent improvement. He gets a personal best. He's excited as the first day he crossed the finish line. He's jumping up and down. He's excited. And I'm extremely happy for Grant because I've seen all his hard work. It's starting to kind of come together now as a senior, kind of at the right time, because he's been progressing. He's been advancing in his time, advancing up in the groups. And that's what I want for all my athletes. And I know that Grant's been working very hard, but Grant, I'm going to miss you, buddy. Nice job. Next is Miss Kelsey Wood. She's a conformed soccer player and came the right direction. She started off as a track runner and doing the 800 for me. I don't know if it was more the fact that she liked running better or maybe she just loved being with her friends better. Because I know she developed a lot of close friendships here. She has one of the biggest hearts you could ever possibly imagine in a person. Someone so small. And it always brings a smile to my face. Even when she came in my room just the other day, it was like, Coach, I don't know if I'm gonna run because I'm hurt. But she said it with such an innocent, soft voice, and so nice and smiling that it's just like, okay. But no, she's been a lot of fun to coach and a lot of fun to train, and I wish her the best. Tyler King! Tyler King! Yay, we're married! Tyler's been that kid that's just always bringing a smile to everybody's face. He's always there, he's always happy, he's always excited. And the best thing for me though is that as long as I don't yell at him, he runs faster than when I yell at him. It's taken me a couple of years, but Tyler has the ability. He's gotten better every year. He's shown strength. He's worked his way up to a varsity spot, and he's still fighting for that spot. But Tyler, you're a great guy, and I wish you the best at everything you do. And I'm gonna miss you, buddy. You're definitely This is David's second year of running cross country, and he came out. He point blank told me that he came out here to get in shape for wrestling, and I admire that because when someone's honest with me about why they're here, I know what to expect. I know what to look forward to. I know what I can do to push them and help them out and use to motivate them. But what David, I think, learned this year is that he actually got a really strong knack for running. And he kind of developed that towards the end of last year when he kind of made a spot on the varsity team, an alternate spot, kind of bounced back and forth. And this year, I think even Schuler was surprised when, for the first half mile, David was leading the 2-mile time trial. But that's been David's success story all this season. David's put a lot of effort out there, and I appreciate all of it. And I wish you the best of luck. I have to go back to my old tried and true story about Chris. I still can't get over the fact that 4 years ago, we'd go out on these runs at Wincopen and Chris's mom would come in before Chris. And, but you know what? The thing that she always said to me was, he didn't stop. He kept going, he kept pushing. And then every year, he got a little bit taller and a little skinnier. A little bit taller and a little skinnier. Once he kind of found his running stride, he was that kid that would literally kill himself to stay with the top group of guys as long as he could on every run. The warm-ups, the easy runs, the long runs, and even the hard runs. Because that's how committed he was. He found a niche for running. He found that love for it. And it's truly, it'll be a story that I tell for many, many years to come to help people overcome some of those frustrations and whatnot when they're out there running. Chris, when you think of Alyse, you think of this girl who jumps up and down who's always like that, always smiling. But the best part about her is when she laughs, she can't stop. And then everybody else starts laughing and everyone starts giggling and everyone starts pointing and laughing at her. She's gone through a lot. She went through a period where she was on some really talented teams, but the talent of those teams have gone down for whatever reason, but she's progressed to get better and better and better. And when a lot of her friends graduated last year, she was really down in the dumps. One of the first times I've actually seen her upset after one of the last cross-country meets and track meets was when she realized they were never going to run with her again. But her and I talked a lot and had a lot to look forward to, and I think this year is actually a much better year than I think we anticipated.
Reservoir. First place.
She's not only a talented leader, but she's an emotional leader. So, Alyse, it's been a great pleasure to work with you. And in case you didn't know, she is my daughter now. So I'll get you a few minutes. When I first heard of Eric, he was an 8th grader before he came up. And Phil Lang over at Oakland Mills was like, you got an awesome kid coming to you. And there's a couple times when we're at the junior striders and check this guy out, and I was like, yeah, he's pretty good, he's fast. But very quickly, I was scared that he was going to be one of the first kids to ever beat my times. Now, he was there was other kids that beat my time since then, but at one point or another, I feel like Eric's going to have just about every possible record that Reservoir has to offer in the distance program. He's been a joy to coach. You're talking about a kid that will literally punish his body all the way to across the finish line. But more importantly, he runs every race with his head. He runs smart.
And this year's Howard County Boys Cross Country Champion is the time of 16:43.75 from Reservoir, Eric Schuler.
Eric, it's been a true pleasure to coach you, and as of now, you're going to go down in history as one of the greatest distance runners that Reservoir's ever had, and I've ever had the opportunity to coach. Rezzi! 1, 2, 3. Rezzi!